Many hopeful entrepreneurs buy into a franchise model, hoping to be able to have their own business and thrive and find independence financially and with their time so that they can enjoy life much more. The challenge is a lot of the times these entrepreneurs, these brave men and women, do not fully understand the franchise business and how it works financially to be able to make that business as successful as they're hoping for. In today's show, I'm going to give you a few tips of what are the things that you need to learn and understand to be able to maximize your knowledge on the franchise business so that you can then achieve your dream of time and financial freedom from growing your franchise business. If this is you, if you know that you could do better with your business, listen up and let's get started with the first one. You need to be able to understand your profit and loss statement line by line with a high level of expertise. Literally, when you get your monthly financial statements, you grab the financial statements and you look at them and you actually understand what each and every one of those line items say and what you can do about it if you are not meeting the expectations of your business. This is the first tip. If you do not feel that you are actually a master at your numbers, at your profit and loss statement, and even your balance sheet, then you need to spend the necessary time to be able to study it and understand it so that you can make much better business decisions. Tip number 2, you need to know what is your break-even point of each and every one of your franchise units, assuming you have multiple. The break-even point is the point in your business where you don't have losses nor profits. It's the moment in which you start making money. I think you may have heard people say, hey, I start making money on Thursday afternoon or Friday morning or Saturday. And if you're struggling, maybe Sunday afternoon. That's because they know exactly at which point in the week they have reached that break-even point, and anything after that, that's when they start making money. Now, you also need to know that reaching that break-even point, it does not mean that every dollar that comes into business is also profit. You still need to pay for variable costs because they're still variable, and at the end, all you get is what's left over. Now, if what I just said is not something that you're familiar with, then that means that you have information or knowledge to get. You need to understand break even, and you need to understand how to calculate it. You need to understand where you are with your business and how to make it so that instead of breaking even on a Saturday, you can move it up to a Friday or ideally to a Thursday. Tip number 3 is that you should attack your fixed costs. And even though we call them fixed costs, it does not mean that they're not movable. In many of them, there is still negotiations opportunities. And if you have those, you need to tackle it. As a business owner, you do not save only on your product costs or your labor costs or whatever other controllable costs, as we call them, exist. There are certain fixed costs in your organization that you can absolutely still negotiate and improve upon, and maybe some of them eliminate altogether so that you can make the financial picture of your business a much more positive one. So just because we call them fixed costs doesn't mean that you cannot still make them better. The next tip is that you should be reviewing your financial statements every month. And I guess that should go with tip number 1 of understanding each line item of your P&L. But in this tip, what I'm saying is that you really need to be able to review it every month. And you should have an accounting service that should provide your financial statement no more than 15 days after the end of the month. Ideally 10 days. That's really the ideal situation. And so this way, the sooner that you are able to get your financial results for the month, you need to review it with high level of detail and understand where you are. What happened that month? Where areas did you do better? What areas did you actually meet your plan? And what are the things that you can do to change that? This is critical for your financial health in your franchise business. Now, even though you are going to look at your financial statement every month, the tip number 5 is that you should review your KPIs, your key performance indicators, every single week. You should be able to look at those very critical numbers in some way every single week, because if you wait until you look at your financial statements at the end of the month, it's too late. Game's over. Really, what you're doing is just seeing where you were so that maybe in the next month you can make things better. But at that point, it's too late for the month that's already closed. But if you're looking at your weekly dashboard and your weekly key performance indicators or KPIs, you have a chance to improve the next week. You don't have to wait a month to actually cause a change in your organization. You can actually see where you are week to week compared to your plans, compared to last year, and see where you're meeting expectations and where you're not. And when you're not is when you then do what is tip number 6, which I think is probably the most important tip for your financial success. And that is you must act. The moment that you see that your numbers, your business is not going in the right direction, you must be doing something about it. If you just look at it and say, well, that's just the way it is, and tomorrow will be better, or next week will be better, or the next month will be better, then you're not owning your business. For you to be able to achieve your time and financial freedom goals, you must control your business. And that means that if something is not working, you need to look at your processes, your procedures, your systems, your policies, and what is your team doing about each and every one of these metrics so that you can then act and change. You coach, you teach, you follow up, get involved, because at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you what is going to be the end result of your business and your financial goals. You need to look at what is a target of each of the KPIs. You need to look at where you actually are. And then when you look at the difference, you act. That is tip number 6 and probably the most important tip. So those are the 6 tips that I have for you to boost your profitability in your franchise business. Now, if any of this information is new to you, if you're not fully clear or confident in how to do the things that I just shared with you today, I'd like to invite you to explore one of our programs. Here at the American Franchise Academy, we focus on providing franchise leaders like yourself the knowledge, the tools, and the resources so that you can be successful in your franchise business. And so we like to invite you that if any of these things are things that you can see you can improve in your business so that you can achieve your goals, you can go to www.americanfranchiseacademy.com and explore our programs that are specifically designed to help you as a franchisee, to help your district managers if you're a multi-unit franchisee, and to help your unit managers be successful at running the business and achieving the business and financial goals. Thank you for being with me in this show. We'll see you in the next one.